Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again. Yes, once again to the Mania 7K World Cup Finals. Winners, of course, this time we're gonna see Malaysia against South Korea. An amazing match that I have been waiting for a long time already. And after the match of the Philippines against South Korea, I'm very excited to see this being a close one. Regardless of what I wish to, I think we should introduce the commentary first. I'm Juan Crystal, casting here alongside Potassium F. After so long, we did it.
Yeah, let's go. I'm really excited to be casting this one right here. South Korea versus Malaysia, two of the strongest teams in the tournament, of course, being the two winners finalists here. Of course, South Korea being regarded as the strongest team for the past 5 or so years in a row, I would say. Despite the interlude between the World Cups. But they have definitely looked beatable, especially last week with Philippines, as you've said just before. So it'll be interesting to see how Malaysia can fare against South Korea in particular here.
Yep, and not only this, but we already saw the losers bracket conclude, certainly, with China coming on top. And China also did look really sick. So whoever wins and loses this match should very much be worried about China, I think. We could easily see any of the 3 teams and the final 2, like for sure. So this might be just a preview for a grand final round 2, but I think China might surprise us in the losers bracket.
Even though Malaysia did beat China earlier, China have been scaling up pretty well into the finals pool. They've gotten better over time and are really getting comfortable in this late game kind of map pool, especially with a grand final map pool coming out next week, I believe.
Oof. Yeah.
But we have the picks and bans right away here. Looks like South Korea is going to win the role. Malaysia going to ban Life is Piano. And I wonder what South Korea is going to ban here. They're going to ban Fractal, actually. So,
I was about to say long notes. Absolutely. Against a team like Malaysia, you want to knock the LNs out of the way, I'm pretty sure.
That is true. Actually, okay, if you would have told me like a couple weeks ago, I would have said South Korea easily picking all the rice, Malaysia picking all the LN. But last week kind of just threw all my expectations out the window a little bit. Malaysia being the ones to win on the rice picks and South Korea losing their points on the rice picks. So it does look like we are getting back into the standard kind of pick ban, what you would expect here though. South Korea going straight for the rice in Toy's 3-minute war.
Absolutely. Like we might be surprised again as we saw last weekend, but I don't think that will necessarily change the strategy for any of the teams, especially early on for these two. So going for rice here, not a surprise in the expectations of what we wanted them to pick, I guess. But then we have to see if they perform, right? Like last week it didn't work all that well. This time we have to see. But they're definitely going with the same strategy. I think Korea should have the upper hand on rice, though. I think last week maybe was a bit of not the best day for Korea, but I really think they should have done better, and they will do better this time around.
Yeah, especially with the harder pools, we all definitely know that South Korea have the just like the raw capability to do extremely hard maps. And this one, it looks like we're getting Dress Surf and 0133 in for South Korean team here. Two of the players that have been playing a lot of the rice picks, I feel like, in the past few rounds. And of course, Chiwi 10 and Nyokshe for Malaysia, the two that have been playing almost every map, I feel like, for the tournament.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, honestly.
So here we go, South Korea. Their first pick. It's going to be the dense chord stream pick, 195 BPM. And at this density, really easy to drop misses here and there.
Unless you're dressed up, right, and just 100% the start. But here we go, now into the actual dance costumes. Here we see the first miss actually coming from Korea again, 0133 being the one to drop. And as the time goes on, Nyokshe starts to recover a little bit of his accuracy.
Oh, actually, the opposite it looks like here. Nyokshe dropping down at 98.4. Gonna need some time to recover that accuracy, and even with that miss from South Korea's side, they're still gonna have the lead.
Yeah, it seems like Neosh is actually fine holding the combo here, but this accuracy is hurting a little bit of Malaysia. This accuracies by Chiwi and rest are amazing, by the way.
What is this top of the screen that we're seeing here? 99.9? Like this is a group stage pick or something.
Well, I mean, it is a sort of a consistency-ish pick in the denser side, so if you can handle this density, then I guess it's fine. But then again, why can't you handle this density so well? And there's the miss by Neoxia, a couple one.
Yeah, and 0133 has recovered the accuracy. Miss from them now, but it's only a singular miss. 99.5% is the accuracy still. And it's those difference in those bottom two players, yeah.
I like how Chiwi stated in the chat that he didn't want them to 998k on them, but it might be the case. Like, it's not gonna be 998, right? But it's gonna be pretty high. Oh, that's a miss! What?
Dresser finding the miss. Okay, Chiwi the only full combo left here, and that was a very, very unusual place to miss in the break section.
That was really strange. Like, right now, I don't think Malaysia still can hold a lead out of that miss due to the
getting pretty close, actually.
Another miss now by 0133.
Neoksha's accuracy has gone all the way back up to 99. This is actually getting pretty close. If South Korea find one more, I think that might actually switch the score gap towards Malaysia.
Can Neoksha hold this combo though? No, he can't.
No.
There's the miss, but a trade.
It's traded. So the lead is going to stay where it is, but we're approaching the final moments of the map now.
Oh my god, it's going to be so intense. There's only like 15 seconds remaining, and those are so important. This damage
a couple thousand points.
Too. Oh, it's shrinking! There's the miss!
Finding a miss towards the end. Is it enough? It's actually flickering back and forth, but I think Malaysia have it.
Can they not miss on this last couple of those, please? And there it is. Can they do it or not? But there's no
finding the miss at the very end, and I think
South
Korea, just barely by 1,000 points at the end, going back and forth.
Oh my goodness, what was that ending?
Man,
that city. And
Chiwi and Dresser. What is those?
Oh my god.
We're seeing 1 to 10 ratios in finals pool.
Hello, map selectors. We would like the map pool to be buffed a little bit. Maybe
too easy?
Question mark. I mean, not for Neoxia, I'll say. Like he struggled a little bit with this pick, but he did really well. Like only 4,000 points off of 0133.
Yeah, both players actually. I think Neoxia without that miss at the end would have definitely been above 0133, but very, very close map.
Super dense. Like it's a pretty big spike there. That's why I was worried about Neoxia if he can hold and Malaysian just in general. And it's so unfortunate because he held so well throughout the entire map.
But that is South Korea's first pick. That's the pick that South Korea was most comfortable on in their judgment. So, looking like a pretty spicy matchup so far.
Well, I mean, I would be pretty comfortable too if I knew that Restov could just 10-to-1 ratio with 3 200s regularly. So, maybe it's a comfort pick for Korea, but it's probably also a comfort pick for Malaysia on the Rise side. Like, I don't expect Malaysia to hold all that well on other Rise picks. That's the thing. It's just a matter of whether Korea can as well, too, right? That's the thing with Rise here.
Yeah, we'll have to see later
because we're going to see LNs, right?
Yeah, we're going to see LNs right away picked by Malaysia. So we're going to see Estonians coming in for 0133 on South Korean side.
Also, you can predict who wins the match right now on the chat if you have some channel points to spare. It is, I think chat-wise thinks that it is maybe a 70 to 30% chance in favor of Korea. I think I agree with those chances, but I wouldn't be surprised if Malaysia wins this after the Rise pick we just saw. It really comes down to these long notes, right? With Estonia's now coming in for Korea, we have to see if they have the manpower to outplay Neoxia on the long notes. I don't think they will be able to outplay Chiwi that easily, but we have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see how all the players perform, really, if they can handle LNs of this difficulty. And an ominously calm introduction here. So we're getting into the actual map now. And it looks like South Korea with a small accuracy lead, but it's not really by much. 99.2 still for both of the Malaysian players. Oh man, and all four players holding on to their combo so far at least. And the ACK lead is somewhat shrinking here. Dressurf, the only one significantly ahead of the others here, 99.28. But a single miss will very, very much swing the score lead pretty far in the other direction. We're getting towards the halfway point of the map pretty soon, but no player is missed. We still have 4 full combos on the board.
But it is so close in accuracy too, right? So a single miss would definitely make the switch, I believe.
Yeah, all 4 players building up their accuracies during that break section earlier, but it is still really close.
This section gets a bit tricky. Those shore lands are going to be a bit difficult.
Oh my god!
Double miss collapsing, Korea!
A double miss from Korea, both players. Double miss for Dressurf as well. Malaysia still holding on to these full combos, but this is a really hard section here. Estonians finding the drop. Will Malaysia be able to hold on to these combos?
Oh my god, Neoxia now dropping, but Korea's just collapsing completely. And Chiwi's just like, nah, fam, I got this, no problems. 99.21. His accuracy dropping a little bit, but still holding the full combos, all that matters. This is a 25,000 lead in favor of Malaysia. It's a big one. Only a quarter of a song remaining, and the song just keeps building up. A team collapse can definitely happen at this point, but Korea is just not holding up to this.
Dressurf struggling there on that section. Chiwi finally breaks the full combo, but it's not going to be enough if it's just that one break there. This is a very significant lead, and Estonians finding another miss as well. Malaysia just holding on to their combos for longer here. And
I want
the better accuracy.
This accuracy by Neoxia is actually really scary. Like, he dropped a couple times, but 99.2 on this? It's insane. His releases are on top. What a play. I think he's going to get the MVP.
Yeah, Neoxia has the MVP, even though Chiwi had that combo for almost the entire map with just the one miss. This accuracy.
What a play here by Malaysia overall. He missed twice, I think. And it was like together. Like, both of the misses were pretty close to each other. That's a big win by Malaysia. It was looking way too close at the beginning.
Okay, yeah, this is a statement by Malaysia right now. Their LNs are looking really, really strong.
And that's actually a big point to bring up here. Korea won by barely, really alpha choke at the ending by Malaysia. And this time, even though throughout the first half, maybe 2/3, the first 2/3 of the map, it was pretty close. But at the end, Malaysia just run away with the lead. Completely, fully. Like, they were looking like they were never going to lose that pig at their first couple misses of Korea.
Yeah, just that consistency towards the end, maybe with the harder patterning as well. Faring a little bit better with the combo overall, Malaysia was. But now, South Korea's pick once again, and we're seeing Knight Rider coming in. 4.5 minute long map of... I believe this has a huge amount of jacks and speed elements in throughout the map here.
And it's a 4 minute and 31 second pick, right? It's a very long one, so...
Yeah, it's going to be crushing on the stamina.
Yeah, exactly. With difficult patterning and somewhat techy, the more length you add on top of it, the harder the stamina plays, and the harder it gets at the ending. So we'll have to see if Korea can hold on through those patterns and capitalize off a lead. And 0133 being replaced here of the Rise Department. We're seeing YZ being the one who's going to play here, and Chiwi, Neoxia both staying for Malaysia here.
Yeah, this is all 4 South Korean players being having a part in the first 3 maps here.
Seems like Chiwi was having a bit of a connection problem. I believe he's gonna join back soon. Don't get scared. He's gonna play this map apparently. People like the Neox just asking on the chat if he can get like reset.
Yeah, I would not expect Chewy to be switching out anytime soon.
She was like it's like, well, I mean, every team seems to have a player that I can anchor. I like to call them an anchor player who just plays everything. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes teams swap their lineups depending on the type of maps. But on a team size so small, 4 players, usually you always have one anchor. This time around being Chiwi for Malaysia, Dresser for Korea. I recall maybe Ador for Spain, for example. Everything. Lost Call for Thailand, obviously. Yeah, you're right. Like every team seems to have one of those. It's not really the case when you have bigger teams. Therefore, you can maybe switch out the lineups a little bit more. So stamina definitely is a thing in 7 key, more so than I believe in 4 key. Because you kind of have one player that is forced to stay in every single thing. You don't have SPs either, so like a map you can take for rest.
Yeah, especially when you're getting the map pools this hard, you can't... It's very hard to find alternate players that can really substitute in for you at the same level as your best players on the team. You're just playing these 4-minute maps back to back to back.
Yeah, the map is not starting though. Maybe a little bit of a difficulty on the technical side here. Like I see the command for the map to start, but Neoxia seems to be saying something's going on, and there is the abort.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of connection issues, but should get sorted out pretty shortly, I believe.
Oh my god, Chewy. I mean, it wouldn't be a winners finals if we didn't have this kind of problems, right?
Of course. This is just a World Cup staple.
Yeah, I recall, what was it? I don't remember the year. I think it was 2017, 4K World Cup. We had Brazil versus US. It went all the way to tie-breaking. We had so many connection issues throughout the entire thing.
Oh no.
Like, I remember Gil, I think it was, playing the map. It was US versus Brazil in the message in 2012. And he was like 30 seconds behind everyone else. And the map had like a break of 25 seconds, and that was like the only point where you could see the actual difference between the two teams. Because he was just so behind. But here we go now. It seems like we are ready to start some Knight Rider action here. We'll see if Korea can establish this lead on Rise a bit more firmly than what we saw in the previous one. Or maybe we see a surprise by Malaysia. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see how both of these teams fare. All players have shown that they're pretty comfortable overall, especially Dressurf and Chiwi going to be leading, I expect, here. But as you said, this is a very different map to the Rice map we saw first.
Neoxia is just like,
oh, okay.
I don't want to play anyway.
Yep. Just the old 2v1 situation here. Well, we can have a look at the players currently. And Chiwi with 99.92, just chilling out a little bit. Oh my god.
The hit sounds, man.
How is he maintaining that accuracy? But all 3 players looking like all 3 players that we can see at least, looking like they're pretty comfortable there. YZ taking a bit of a hit with the accuracy in those chords.
And I don't blame him. Those are kind of grace chords, I like to call them.
Do you call them chords? Are they chords anymore?
Yeah, they're weird. Like, they are technically chords, but they're like graced a part of each other, so it gets very difficult. And there's the miss by Chiwi, the first one of the lobby, followed up by a tray, like YZ here.
That said, Chiwi is actually still holding the highest accuracy in the lobby. YZ falling behind a little bit in accuracy, but of course, because we have no idea what's going on with Neo, it's hard to say who is in the lead.
I think we could all say that it will be fair to say that Neoxia is currently on the way for his 1 million score. So Korea might have to step up the game if they want to win this.
I have not seen a regular 300 from him so far. That is true.
That's true, yeah. That's a good point.
Not a single bad judgment coming out from Neo right now. And we are halfway through the map. Chiwi actually extending this accuracy lead, 99.33.
He's actually crushing. No, Neochi left! No! That's it. That's GG. If Neochi is not gonna submit a score, his 1 million was required for Malaysia to win.
Yeah, the 1 million needed here. But we'll have to see what the status is, whether Neocha is actually playing the map or not. Still may be in question, but for now, YZ finding a miss there. Jessurf still with the full combo, but below 99%.
This is a great full combo with Jessurf, by the way, but just on accuracy alone, Chiwi is just outplaying him. Like, he missed once at the maybe first quarter, but of his accuracy, he's still holding a lead off this Jessurf here. And I'm not sure if Neoksha would have made the difference here. Like, I really have no clue how good Neoksha would have played.
Yeah, it really does come down to, like, can Neoksha beat this current score by YZ? YZ finding another miss there. YZ's been finding a few misses, but...
Like, he didn't really need to beat it by all that much, really. Like, a 98.4
close enough,
even. Enough, yeah, because
like,
Chiwi was outplaying.
Yeah, Chiwi's beating Jessurf, even though Jessurf has this, like, ridiculously impressive full combo. Chiwi's only missed once, and it has... And the accuracy's been rising. How is Chiwi's axe still rising? 99.35 now. That was a miss from Jessurf. Actually, no more full combos now between the three players.
Okay, we still have the new ruling, right? At this point, if Neoshi actually managed to keep playing, he just got the seed. If he has a replay of it, then we could verify it, and it could potentially still count.
Right. It all really depends on, like, is Neoche actually playing? Like,
the thing.
Did they actually get into the map in the first place? YZ finding a miss there towards the end of the map. Obviously, the tension is not quite there when we have no clue who is even close to winning, who has the lead.
Well, I mean, we could do the math, right? At this point, with Chiwi holding as good as he is, never mind.
That was a patented one curse right there.
Yep. So they need a 952,000 points, I think?
942.
942. Okay, yeah, they need a 942, and that's doable. We'll have to see if Neokche actually had played this or not. It really comes down to that here. As it stands, Korea wins the map, but we'll have to see if Neokche stood playing or if he got just booted out. If he got booted out, then that's GG. That's a point for Korea. Unfortunately, because Chiwi's score is actually kind of ridiculous, so it would be kind of sad.
Yeah. Chiwi's score would have been well over 970k without those misses towards the end there. That was a like 0.2% accuracy drop right in the last few seconds.
And that's a great performance by Korea too. That's not an easy map by any means.
Oh, absolutely. But we'll have to just sit on this for a little bit while we find out the situation, whether or not, or either way, we're going to have to wait a little bit for Neo's connection to come back. So... But the fortunate thing is that at the very least, this didn't happen on Malaysia's own pick.
Yep, I was about to say that too.
That would have been disaster.
That would have been tragic. Okay, seems like Neoche is online at least. We'll see if he happens to have played the map or not. Like, I think he just deceived. Like, his internet connection went bananas, and that's it. So maybe he continued to play. I recall this happening to me in the past in a tournament. I think it was Mania World Cup 2014, actually. That was a long time ago. But when I got this seed, like my internet connection dropped, but I still had the replay. So
yeah, it'll still save locally. But Chibi's saying Neo potentially didn't even load into the map in the first place, but
Yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, that's it. Kiwi's calling that out. And yep, it was RIP internet. I think had he loaded at least and played a couple notes, then maybe he would have the replay, but because his internet just decided to not function before the map started, then he never actually got to start playing it, right? And that seems to be it, right? Korea will take the second pick then, unless the referee calls something else here. I don't think so. Like, based on the rules, I imagine this is just a point for Korea and we move on. Yep, exactly. That's the call by Specimen, and it's going to be 2-1 for Korea.
okay.
I wouldn't know. Again, I have no clue what the score from Neoxia would have been, but it is what it is. Malaysia just got to shrug it off. And honestly, looking how good Chiwi hold on the rise, I think they definitely have more chances to break point on Korea on the rise here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going straight into Malaysia's pick, Gunjo. And we're going straight into releases. I still love the idea that this map is 4 minutes long. Like a 4 minute long release LN pick is just like, that's brutal.
That sounds like my maps.
Sounds like
Come
one
on.
map, yeah. Oh, I love those maps, but like in a tournament setting like this hard, man.
Yeah,
Accuracy.
definitely. No.
Like
You
the
know-
stress as well. I know the stress. The
But
stress
here's
of
the
trying
thing.
to get accuracy on these.
It's not only the release pick. Like, I think most of the maps, other than the first pick, have been very long. So, in general, the pool is very draining. It will take it will take a lot off of your stamina here. Although in this one in particular, it's not really about physical stamina. Although it gets
Mental
hard
stamina.
enough. Like 7.5 star rating is no joke. Like it gets dense. Don't get me wrong, but it's mostly mental stamina, as you said. The releases and the coordination required for this kind of picks are the difference maker, rather
You need
than
to keep
the
your
physical
mind
stamina.
so sharp to be able to read these and, you know, intentionally release at the correct timings for 4 minutes straight. And being an LN map, you don't really get a moment where you're not holding a note at some point.
Well, there was a gap there. Like there it is. A 1/4 gap. There we go.
Okay, if you want to get technical there, sure. It's the intro. It doesn't really count as a break. Okay, getting started into this. We're getting a dress surf actually switching out. We've got Estonians and YZ here.
Oh, we
And we're
don't see dress off. That's true. I didn't notice that.
We're starting
We're
with the
seeing-
first wonky releases here. YZ struggling with the accuracy a lot. Chiwi finding a miss. And Neo actually. Early on here.
This
But
accuracy
YZ
by YZ though, it's a bit too low, and I wouldn't be surprised if he misses a couple times, and it's mostly on the first column apparently here.
Maybe something to do with a keyboard or comfort there. But now Malaysia managed to take back the lead here. Even though Estonians with the full combo still, it is the accuracy lead pretty solidly in favor of Malaysia. Chiwi beating Estonians and Neo beating YZ right now.
You know what's funny is that we just made it past the first quarter, so there's still a long time before.
Oh, it's, yeah,
ends.
long map. But I will say that long maps do favor the accuracy a little bit more than the short maps do.
Absolutely. The consistency is usually most favored when you're playing a long map like this one. And as it stands right now, it seems like Malaysia is leading the charge when it comes to consistency, not only on longness, I think just in general. And that's going to favor them, absolutely. Although Chiwi is actually starting to drop a little bit, and Sonya is actually growing as a counterpart here. Neox is still having an advantage over YZ, and that's keeping Malaysia on the lead.
Whoa.
But not
That
by
said,
much.
Not by much. Neo's accuracy is dropping. YZ's is rising, just like the case here. Looks like both of South Korean players are catching up with this accuracy. And Estonians
He's
with
actually
that full combo.
slipping?
It
Oh my
might be
goodness.
enough to slip it very close into
Like,
South Korea's favor.
They have the combo advantage, so that has to be why. Although YZ already overtook this accuracy by Neoxia, who
that-
drops a little bit on the jacks.
Oh, that hurts. Those 200s on the jacks by Neoxia really hurts the accuracy.
keeps the combo though, and everybody else does as well. We're starting to enter into the last of the map, and this tricky releases might be a bit of a problem for YZ, although he still holds it. Good stuff from South Korea here as they are holding a lead. But if we know something about 7-key and release maps in general, the last couple bits of the maps usually tend to be the hardest, and I think this is no exception. Into the last quarter. Will Korea hold this combo and this lead? It's very, very short, and I think it could just leave at any point on accuracy alone. Chiwi seems to feel his accuracy a little bit too on the 99.2 again.
The key factor here being YZ building up his accuracy throughout the entire map from that intro.
And
now
there's
finding a miss.
Triple miss, triple miss!
Multiple misses there. That's going to swing it back into Malaysia's favor. But it's still very, very close. The accuracy lead is very slightly in Malaysia's favor now.
Those very small gaps between the releases are so hard, and YZ is struggling so much on him. Every single one of those 4 misses that he had were on the exact same pattern. And now Neoxia Tracy's very big combo is not going to be enough for Korea here to recover, as Chiwi is just crushing this.
But here we go into the very dense section at the end. We'll see if there's any misses that happen here. Chiwi and Estonians have held rock solid the entire map here. And I don't want to mention anything in particular until the very last note, as we've seen. But there's one player with a particularly notable combo. We do see an FC from Estonians here, but unfortunately will not be enough for South Korea to take the point. Malaysia doing better as a team, and actually Chiwi, even with the 1 miss, is going to get a better score than Estonians, just barely. Oh, and actually, what is Chiwi's ratio, actually? 1-to-5 ratio. Completely destroying everyone else as well, like half the 300 count. So that's going to tie it up, 2-2. Malaysia's LN picks definitely working out for them so far. South Korea, wonder what they're going to go for next. We've got 3 more Rise picks. They're going to go with Extra Happy. And oh, this is a bit of a dangerous one. Very, very short map. And it's also extremely hard, so the misses, they're going to matter a huge amount, and they're also going to be really, really easy to make.
Oh, I did hear misses and very easy to make. And I see Extra Happy, I just had to left for a second, and yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
A minute and 41 seconds as well. Misses are crushing here if you get them.
Especially with these teams, like, we've seen some pretty fantastic combos being held by both teams, so...
I think that's going to change on this. Not going to lie, I think that's going to change.
We might see some flickering back and forth in that case. Because it really will come down to that ability to hold the combo as best as you can. I wonder who we're getting in for South Korea. I would imagine Dressurf coming in here, but it looks like Estonians are staying. Okay, so we're just waiting for that last player for South Korea to be switched in here. And it looks like they're going to have they're actually going to ask for a timeout here. Having a little bit of a break after a couple 4-minute maps in a row. Going to be pretty understandable.
Yeah, you want to use those timeouts. I think in 7-key again, as we mentioned, oh, whoa, Malaysia just disappeared.
Yep. we'll come back in 2 minutes, they've gone.
Smoke bombs, and they just get out. But yeah, when you have this kind of ankle players, and Malaysia specifically, who have not changed any of their players throughout the entire matchup so far, those 2 minutes of timeout are gold. Like, they are 100% gold for them.
They're definitely needed here. And we can have a bit of time to reset as well. Switching between a release, LN release map and a map like Extra Happy as well. There's also some like small factor of, you know, switching types of maps so fast that it takes a little bit to adjust.
Yeah,
like
it really does. It absolutely does.
Some of the players leaving the lobby, perhaps, you know, going in, playing the intro of Extra Happy a couple times, maybe.
To get used to it, yeah. To get the vibe rolling.
The vastly different BPM, the different style, you know. Aiming for combo instead of trying to sharpshoot that LN release accuracy.
Yep. And well, I mean, we could also swap our commentary a little bit. What if I told you guys? I think we still have banners, right? We do have banners.
Oh, we do. I think, yeah, there should still be banners up.
So what if I tell you that we have banners in store ready to be purchased by $2.5 each, and they look crazy good, of course, for your profile. You pick the winner, it gets a little bit longer. It's amazing. So you should definitely support the tournament and the players, really, because every penny you spend on banners goes directly into the prize pool, to found the prize pool. And we will love to see a 7-key World Cup next year too, right? So why not? It's our support.
And all three teams really do need the support as well, because we're looking at some pretty close matches coming up, even this one right now, right? 2-2 so far.
And then I see some questions on the chat, someone who's new to Mania. What does LN and RC mean? And that's a great question, my friend. I don't think we stopped enough to explain what that means, right? If you come from Standard, you wouldn't understand. But LN means long note. There's a type of category of maps, I will say, that it will be the equivalent of sliders in OSU Standard. And usually maps that are LN based mostly have LN difficulty patterns. Of course, you will have normal nodes as well. And for RC, that means rise, which is the equivalent to a normal node, and will be circles, I guess, on Standard. You have the HB, not many people ask for that, and that will be hybrid, which is a map that mixes both styles in a way, and therefore get their own category.
Yeah, I feel like the word rice kind of does sound confusing, but it comes from the fact that LNs kind of look like noodles. So rice is kind of the opposite.
Yeah, the counterpart.
Yeah, the counterpart there. So we're getting into it now. All the players back in the lobby. We are seeing Dressurf and YZ for South Korea.
No, short 33 actually again.
See how this turns out here for South Korea. It looks pretty tight in the intro so far. All four players holding their own there. As we said, this is a very short map, and the traded misses, Neo and YZ.
This is so fast. I struggle to believe that these guys can play this well on this difficult chart. Like, Dressurf, what are you doing, my man? And there you go, he misses twice.
Another trade between that actually kind of favors Malaysia, that trade, because of the accuracy drop from Dressurf, but Neo actually drops in combo and accuracy a lot, down below 99%, and that's going to give South Korea a very strong lead going into the second half of the map.
And this is what I meant before with the Rise. You go for your more comfortable picks, and that makes a lot of sense. But if Korea goes for this heavy, physically demanding charts, they might be able to abuse Neokch's weakness, right? Neokch is an extremely good player, but if you force him too much out of his comfort zone, he will just miss. And he's missing right now. So is YZ, to be fair. So it's not that it's a free point, but if they can isolate this as a battle between mostly Chiwi and Dressurf, then I think Dressurf can definitely keep up to Chiwi's levels on this kind of Rise. And it comes down to YZ. And he's definitely overperforming here, outperforming Neokchi completely. Korea is having the biggest lead they ever had so far into the matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Dressurf and Chiwi both basically tied in the accuracy there, but there's difference in YZ that's making up all the difference, and South Korea wins their third pick. The cleanest pick they've won so far. Well, I mean, technically the second pick, but we'll never know that. Yeah, Dressurf. Dressurf just barely getting MVP there, 1,000 points above Chiwi, or not even.
No, that's 300 points of difference between, not even, right? 250. Yeah, 250 points of difference in favor of Dressov.
600.
600 points? Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind. I thought they were both on 77,000. My bad. Yeah, that's a very short difference. And YZ's 200 count was amazing too, right? We didn't point that out, but he had single-digit grades. His ratio was a bit too weak compared to their counterparts of Dressov and Chiwi, but his 200 count was clean.
Oh,
and
yeah, I didn't even see that, yeah.
We have bad elixir now, so straight again into more long notes.
This is the density long note pick, so of course...
and you can tell by the star rating, right? 9.2?
Yeah, the star rating being 9.2 gives it away a little bit here. But it is going to be full-on just density, inverse patterns, fast, like kind of basically chord stream-ish patterns going through. And 2 minutes long as well, so much shorter than the other LN maps we've seen so far. But makes sense for Malaysia to pick this one up now, given how the other LNs have gone. We'll see if they can keep it up.
I don't want to spoil this, but I expect you to absolutely crush this map. We'll see if that's enough for Malaysia, because I'm not sure how well Neoxia is going to hold on through this. 200 BPM, very dense long notes. Sure, Neoxia can play the long notes probably just fine, but the BPM is pretty high to keep up with the combo just on the physical level. And that's my main concern here for Malaysia. I don't expect you to have any issues, but I also expect Korea to hold on pretty well on a map like this, mostly because of their physical abilities.
Yeah, we're seeing Malaysia with a minuscule advantage, 400 points, based on the accuracy from Chiwi entirely, it seems. 99.66 at the start of the map. And YZ actually being the one to drop in accuracy a little bit down, and Dressov with the miss. First miss of the map.
It always happens on the breaks, right? They go straight from the dance section into a break, and there's always misses. And that's so weird.
I guess transition away from that like kind of aggressive speed that you're going for, right? Like trying to slow down is just not working out for
the context switch.
The South Koreans. Neo actually getting the miss now as well. That trades the misses, but YZ finding one of his own. It's only Chiwi who has yet to miss.
There's another miss now by Neoxia here, so that's gonna favor South Korea a little bit. The accuracy department, though, seems like Malaysia is holding a pretty strong lead, with Dressov now dropping below the 99%.
Yeah, Dressov, YZ, and Neo all holding very similar. It's just Chiwi, 99.4, holding very far ahead, well, relatively far ahead of the other three.
Oh, that's pretty far away. Considering his full comboing, he is holding a very strong score. There's another trade now by Dressov and Neoxia, but Chiwi first to miss. And his accuracy drops a little bit too. It's not going to hurt all that much. Malaysia is still on the lead.
But it is dangerously close now. It's very dangerously close. Neoxia misses, and actually now South Korea, they're going to start to swing it back a little bit.
They have the lead. I think they do have a lead, but it's so short.
This accuracy is barely in favor of Malaysia, but those misses repeated coming out of Neoxia and Chiwi.
It's almost over, and just going back
almost over the chops. Neoxia finds a miss at the end, and that's going to be it. Unless...
Oh, it is. Yes, it is.
South Korea taking it back right at the end.
What a clutch there by Korea, and what a play by YZ here with 907,000 points almost for him. That's huge. 48-200 is even outplaying Chiwi on the 200 count. That miss from Chiwi might just be the difference maker here. Every player pretty close to each other. 5 misses to 2 was what changed the outcome of this matchup. And that's a first point.
Only 4,000 points. That one miss from Chiwi, that might have done it. But I mean, you can say that about basically any of the misses that happened on the Malaysian side, right?
And I called this too. This physical ability that Neoxia needed to hold, he did really well. But then Korea just overpowered through the chart based on physical abilities alone. The releases are not that tricky on this map. And Chiwi maybe could have gotten a better score, sure, but Korea as a team just played fantastically on that map, and that's why they won it.
Now it's Korea's pick, but it's on Malaysia now for the rest of the match to try and win this breakpoint back from Korea. They've come pretty close before. We'll see if they can actually close out one of these rise picks that South Korea have to pick, because there's 3 rise picks left. If South Korea want to go for all of them, they can.
That was a 4.4 thousand points of difference. And honestly, I'm shocked. Like, I've seen many of the finals maps, or the matches rather, so far. And it blows my mind that so many of them are being decided by like 4 digits differences. At this level,
we've had a ridiculous amount of those maps.
Even 3 digits on this stage, that's insane. That's crazy. Because consider it this way, every map has at least 5,000 nodes, like in general. Like, and the difference is still so small. Both teams are always so close to each other, and it blows my mind every time. Like, sure, on group stage, well, now we don't have groups anymore, right? But on round 32 or round 16, maybe even quarterfinals, when you
it's like an
both teams to
accuracy battle.
Yeah, exactly. Play on the accuracy. Maybe have 4-way FCs. We don't have not even a single FC at this stage, and we still see so little differences.
This is just purely based on physical skill. Accuracy is also close, but it's not just the accuracy battle that's determining these points. And we're going to see South Korea picking the speed map now.
Just a delay stream, isn't it?
Just a good old 440 BPM in some patterns here. Nice and easy.
440? Isn't it 1.6? Yeah. I thought it was 1.6.
I believe it was mentioned that there were 440 BPM streams.
I mean, it could be sections, mixed, I think.
It should be mixed overall, but I like to say 440. Makes it sound cool.
Well, yeah. 440 is kind of fast, I'll say.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Slightly.
Yeah. What is the last time you heard something that was 440 BPM fast? I don't think I remember that.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, this song technically is 220 BPM. But it's more like the patterning itself, you would call it.
Yeah, you have bursts of 440.
Yeah. So we'll see how the players fare on this.
Wait, we see a mirror? Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing a mirror.
Yeah, Chiwi. I was like, why is Chiwi holding the 3rd column and Yokshi's holding the 5th column? And they're like, oh, there's the mirror.
Yeah, mirrors are allowed now. Definitely.
Interesting. I think mirror is a good sign for the most part, because you need to be able to control a map good enough to play with mirror, I think. And there's the first miss, unfortunately, for Malaysia. That's Neoksha's.
South Korea's going to hold a decent advantage. Neoksha's accuracy is rising back up, though. So should be able to recover from that, but it is going to need a miss from South Korea if Malaysia want to take back a lead.
This intro is a bit simple, but now we're getting into the kind of polyrhythm patterns here of poly streams, and we see a lot of misses from Neoksha, trade from YZ, and it comes down to Dressov and Chiwi. Dressov is just bowling ahead here. He's destroying the chart.
Yeah, Neoksha struggling to keep up a combo here. That's going to widen the lead here for South Korea. And as you're saying, Dressov... never mind.
Good job, man. You didn't even finish saying Dressov.
Still Dressov.
Okay.
The whole Korean team missing there, and Chiwi now with the full combo.
A trade though?
Traded by Neoksha, and the accuracy lead is still very, very much in favor of South Korea. That's why South Korea still has the advantage despite these misses. Neoksha finding another miss now.
These patterns are so ew. Oh my god, they're super fast and super tricky to just read. Imagine just hit it.
And imagine 3 players in the lobby having 99% as well.
At this point, I think with those streams out of the way, I don't see Korea dropping all that much. The streams look a little bit simpler, like they are not as hard to play as the previous ones, but we still see a miss here by Dressel, trade by Neokje. And at the end of the day, it's just the stamina and accuracy game, I think, that favors Korea. Chiwi with an impressive score, don't get me wrong, but Neokje seems to start to feel this stamina hit of playing every single map. And with a map so physically demanding as this one, I don't blame him a single bit. That's a 50,000 points difference in favor of the Koreans.
That was an FC as well from Chiwi.
Very nice FC. I would like to say that this score by Dressov is even more scary. Like,
because 10-200
grades. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Yep, 10 200s from Dresser, 5 misses, but still 99.4%. Like, that's into the territory where without those misses, that's like 990 potential there.
I mean, had he not had any misses, I think that's 987, 988 maybe. But could be 990 actually. I wouldn't be surprised. And that's a 5-2, so...
Yeah, 5-2 for South Korea now. We're looking to take the lead a little bit, but we've seen a very similar lead before against South Korea.
Yeah, it was Philippines who was holding the lead, right? Wasn't it?
Yep.
It was 6-3 or 6-2? I don't remember.
6-2.
Oh my god.
5-2, then 6-2. We'll see. It is Malaysia's pick, though. So Malaysia definitely not going to be hoping for the 6-2.
Can they please pick Banana Man? Like, I would expect him to not go for Alice in this scenario. Something is telling me they should avoid it. And they're going to Kama. Hybrids, yep, as I told. They're going to avoid the last long no pick, instead going straight into the hybrids. I wanted to see Banana Man, but I'm not really sure if it was the good pick for them. I'm not, I agree. I'm not surprised that Kama is the pick here.
Yeah, we are going to get our first look at the hybrids, the longest of them as well, 4 minutes and a half. So again, once again, this stamina aspect is really going to be kicking in.
Absolutely.
You know, if it's not already at this point.
I wonder where the name Kama came from. Like, we should ask Amelia at some point if he wants to answer. Because it's a pretty interesting name. Like, Kama in Spanish means bad, but not with K, with a C. Yeah, bad.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I assumed it was just some other language that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, it's probably just another language, right? This is such a banger too. Like one of the great my god, songs from Camellia. Oh, there it is. Someone is pointing on the chat. It's Hebrew apparently, right? And it's how much?
Oh, okay.
Hebrew.
Interesting.
As we say in Spanish. I should have known that actually. I never really studied the language, but my family comes from Poland/Israel, so I should have known that probably.
Wow, can't believe you don't know all of the languages in the world, one.
Shake my head. I'm studying Portuguese right now, so I'm going for it.
Gonna collect all of them. But now we're into this one, Malaysia's pick, and this one is one that they absolutely want to win because South Korea still have 2 rice picks left actually.
They do have, and they have also the rice-based hybrids, so they have enough opportunities, I think. And given they won on the LN density pick, then I will say they might not even need to go for rice for the rest of the match if they feel not comfortable with them.
See an early miss here from Nyokje. But Dresser is actually going to trade it twice here. And it's going to even things out just a little bit. The accuracy very close to being in favor of South Korea, but it looks like Malaysia will just barely take that back, or not.
Missed by Dresser, though.
Dresser finding repeated misses here in this early section of the map.
And again, this is a long map, so it favors consistency more than anything else, and accuracy. And there's the miss by Neoxia, so score lead is gonna go straight to Korea's hands.
The accuracy right now, hard to tell who it's in favor of. I believe very slightly in favor of South Korea. YZ and Chiwi both kind of keeping up with each other. Dresser holding a 0.4% lead over Neo right now in the accuracy department. Chiwi finding a miss now. Only full combo left being on YZ in South Korea.
And right now it's looking pretty good for Korea. After the first third is completed here, we get a little bit of a long no-oriented section, and we don't see any sort of drops, not even in accuracy, for the Koreans, and that's good news for them, really. Those are the parts that Malaysia wants to capitalize the lead of, and it's not working. into the second half. We'll see if they have what it takes to recover here. And that's the first miss by YZ, I think, right? That was a full combo he was holding.
Yeah, full combo is gone now. But these accuracies from South Korea, we have two 99.4s. This is crazy accuracy.
They have the same accuracy. Both of the Korean players have legit the same accuracy. It's insane.
Both of the Malaysian players holding below that as well, so massive accuracy lead in favor of South Korea. It's only going to get harder for Malaysia to catch up the later this goes on in the map as well.
And this is the Korea we were used to see on previous years finally showing up. They are warm now. They are playing their best for sure here. 99.4 for both of the players, not even a second player issue at all. And even though Neoxia has built his combo up, his accuracy is a bit behind. Even Chiwi's accuracy is way lower than the Korean counterparts here. So it's going to be a very hard uphill battle here for Malaysia if they want to win this. Into the last third of the map, they will need a big collapse like Korea if they want to win this.
Yeah, there's still a lot of the map left, but as you said, like, this lead right now it's very large. It's only about 20,000 points, but in a map this long, 20,000 points is quite significant. Dresser finding really a miss, but it really needs to come down to this accuracy. South Korea, I mean, if South Korea don't tank an accuracy completely, it's hard to imagine Malaysia being able to bring it back.
And there's not that much map left either. Maybe we have about 50 seconds remaining here, and into the last complicated section here, YZ will miss on the Jags. But that's not enough. They need more than that. They need the accuracy to drop into this last streams. And this Neoxia who drops, unfortunately for Malaysia, that's gonna give the breathing room for Korea. If they just hold the combo, it gets the speed up. But I don't see it. I don't see Korea dropping here at all.
Yeah, these are the Rice sections now, the picks that Korea have been winning so far. And Neoxia finding another miss as well. We're at the very, very last section of the map here. YZ finding another miss. Chiwi approaches 6,000 combo. But YZ finding repeated misses. It's not making enough of a dent fast enough for any kind of comeback to be able to happen.
Yeah, not at all here. The accuracy is just such a good buffer that Korea can get for themselves. And that's a huge win too now, because that's another breakpoint and they are on match point now. Look at the 200 counts. That just speaks for itself. 58-63 against 106 and 116. That's very, very big. And ratio too, like 1600, almost 17 for Dressev, and Neoxia with 2800. That's a huge difference too. Like Korea, when it comes to harder stuff, they just can't be touched. Malaysia had their chances on the more consistent oriented Rise, and they were very close. In fact, one of them we will never know how close they really were. But on the first pick and second pick from Korea, those were the options for Malaysia, I think, to break point and maybe equalize. But considering they lost the long no picks, I think at this point it is possible, but I don't think I see like Malaysia getting off this situation.
Yeah, the
game might just be sealed now.
This is a rough deficit now. Malaysia having to win 4 maps in a row if they want a tiebreaker scenario, and South Korea gets to pick 2 of them. And 2 Rise maps on the board.
Not only that, right? The tiebreaker, I feel, favors Korea too, so it really is such a hard fight here for Malaysia if they want a chance.
Yeah, we'll have to see here. It is South Korea's pick now. They are on match point, that is. So we'll see what they decide to pick.
Oh, they're going for Banana Man. Let's go.
Nice. We are going to see another hybrid here, Banana Man. Crowd favorite. And the Malaysian players not liking it at all.
I can't believe you've done this.
Why would you do this?
This could be the way we close the finals weekend, and it will be Banana Man. Like that, that's just fitting.
Yep, has to be. Couldn't be any other map. I mean, unless Malaysia wins this and starts a reverse sweep, you know, I mean... I
Off the
would
back
not be
of a
opposed to a
banana.
tie. I would not be opposed to a tiebreaker being a last map of the weekend.
Oh, I would like that too. I mean, it has to start with bananas. If it
Has to
starts
start
with
with
bananas,
bananas,
then
yep.
we got it.
This is where the streak begins for Malaysia if they want to take it back. But it is South Korea in the driver's seat with the momentum in the match currently. And here we go.
Oh my god, this map is just so weird looking all
Amazing snapped LNs.
Like, even I wouldn't do this kind of things. Come on, Jing.
Yeah, Neokshe finding an early miss there, dropping accuracy a little bit down to 99%. So South Korea is going to have a little bit of an advantage early on. Oh, Neo finding repeated misses now. But Dressurf trades this one this time.
I mean, jokes aside, Korea's holding really well on Banana, man.
Absolutely. Chiwi and YZ both tying each other's scores here with the full combos. Dressurf not too far behind either, but finding another miss now.
Oh my god. Everybody spam the exclamation mark HV3 command on the chat. Come on, let's go.
Oh, and Neo has a really bad miss right there. YZ follows up, actually. That's a full combo gone. And YZ missing that part.
Yeah, that part is really rude. And YZ but having issues reading it. That's a huge accuracy drop too, isn't
actually,
it? But Chiwi.
Chiwi dropped. Hang on, what happened to Chiwi's accuracy just then? Were those 200s on the courts? This is definitely in favor of South Korea now. Dressurf actually the only one with above 99% accuracy. So South Korea, very significant accuracy lead.
Chiwi drops.
That's the last full combo gone.
And at this point, I don't think there's much left for Malaysia to recover. This outro is a bit simpler compared to the wonky releases and patterns we saw in the past. We see misses by Neokshe and YZ being traded left and right, but it's not going to matter all too much here. It seems like it is over.
And the only one who is able to hold that combo is Dressurf here.
The real Banana King.
Gonna get crushed this lobby right now. Dressurf 973 with just, I believe, the one miss.
25 regulars? 25 grades, rather? What? What? Somehow
managing to hack all of those crazy releases and, like, I mean, the hits in the first place. Like, none of the timings make sense. I don't know how you're supposed to avoid 200s in those, but Dressurf finds a way. And South Korea managing to win the match 7-2 over Malaysia. They're going to guarantee themselves top 2 and a position in that grand finals match.
And that is huge too, because they can allow a bracket reset too. They need to lose twice against whoever. Well, we get more bananas here. 46 miss, 0 good judgments banana play. And there it is. There's the winner. South Korea. Congratulations for Dressurf, YZ, Estonians, and 0133. I think we saw all of them playing today.
All 4 of them played today. All of them having a hand in the win today. And Malaysia brought it pretty close on a lot of these maps. Unfortunately, losing the match overall in the end, but they are going to have one more chance in the losers bracket. Malaysia versus China will be a rematch matchup that we're going to see next week to determine who will be third place and who will get another shot in the grand finals against South Korea.
Yep, I think we did not see Korea versus China, right? This tournament so far,
we didn't actually. Malaysia was the one that eliminated China in the first place. So Malaysia get the opportunity to double eliminate China, and China have their chance at revenge. Yeah.
Well, that's a match you don't want to miss, Chad. I will expect that one to be a very intense one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a close match. But that'll be it for this week in terms of matches, that is. Next week, we are going to have the final 2 or potentially 3 matches of the entire tournament here. And we can see the bracket.
What a road here by every team remaining, right?
Yeah, like, look at these scores.
Pretty early, and
there's barely any Swedes.
Yep. The later the tournament went, then the least sweeps we saw. And honestly, you see the losers bracket? There's only 2. And that's Spain against USA and Thailand against Spain. And I will argue Thailand against Spain, it was like either didn't play that much, I think. So Spain was severely weakened. It maybe shouldn't have been a sweep. Like the losers bracket is wow. Like I don't think I ever seen anything like this. In Mania specifically, that's just insane.
Yeah, this whole tournament so far has just been insanely close. The level of skill has just gone. There's no differences in the level of the skill between these teams. They can all play at such a ridiculously high level that it's gotten this close. But at the end of the day, it does come down to these 3 teams, South Korea, Malaysia, and China being the top 3. The only thing left to determine is the order.
Yep, and it's really going to be intense. I honestly wouldn't call, like, sure, Korea has 2 lives yet, and they will be playing the grand final regardless of what happens. I wouldn't call Korea the winners at all. I think both Malaysia, like, sure, Malaysia this time struggled a little bit. They lost pretty convincingly, I'll say, against Korea, but they were very close to win at least 2 of the Rise picks. And if the pools keep scaling, sure, Neoxia might struggle a little bit. But I'll say the same can be said about Korea, right? Especially those consistency-oriented picks. They might struggle to take those. They might be forced into the more physically demanding ones that might burn some stamina too on the way. I wouldn't call them winners against any of the 2 remaining teams, right? China and Malaysia can both pull out great fights against Korea in a grand final.
And we're seeing China looking very, very scary on the finals pool. Yep. Next pool as well. I feel like China over time has just gotten relatively stronger and stronger.
It reminds me of old Brazil, right? In 4Key, do you remember that? Like 2016 era?
Yeah.
They almost get knocked out on group stage and suddenly they are grand finalists. Like, hello? The same can be said for China here, I think.
Yeah,
China
really scaling up well.
Definitely scaling. Like Malaysia, sure, they have the chance to beat Korea, I say, in a grand final setting, but first they have to take down China. And that's no easy task. Like, I think the most likely grand final here is going to be China against South Korea. But my goodness, this match is going to be just stacked. I see some RPG being mentioned on the chat, so I don't know Korean, but I'm pretty sure what they're talking about. Not sure if you are, Pod. Like,
I don't know. No.
Oh, RPG, the song by Yo, don't you remember? From OWC?
Do I remember? Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
You remember.
No,
Let's go.
I know that, actually. Yeah, no, I know. I didn't recognize the title.
I'm not going to say anything about it. I honestly do not know anything about the pool of the grand finals. I am just as curious as you are, chat, so...
Yep, I'm going to be sitting watching and enjoying the show, just like everyone else will be. But make sure you stick around for that. I believe that's going to be in about 20 minutes.
Yes.
Half past.
14:30 UTC is the time for the showcase of the grand finals pool. I'm not sure if we're supposed to stay for this 20-minute spot. I mean, we could, but...
We could, but I think we'll probably go on a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I imagine we could use that time to set up the showcase, to look great, have everything prepared, be ready. You also, chat, can take a small break, go grab something to eat, something to drink, get yourself a mate like I do every single morning. And
buy some banners in the break.
Oh, yeah. This might be your last chance, actually. I believe they get removed off the store on the last weekend of the tournament, which will be next weekend. So go, run. Get yourself the banner now.
Yeah.
I'm asking for it.
Yeah, buy the banner for Juan. Specifically. Yes. Don't buy it for yourself. Buy it for Juan Crystal. Right now.
Yes. Now we get that gift. That picture. I think the Mania World Cup server knows what I'm talking about. But anyways, it doesn't matter. We're just bantering right now. We'll leave you guys to have that break that you deserve and definitely need for the grand finals map pool showcase is going to start in about 20 minutes.
Okay, see you then.
Bye-bye.
don't know where we're going. Burning trees are leading us again. The crumbling ground is brightly glowing. We will arrive. We will arrive.
What is going on? Welcome to the Mania 7K World Cup 2022 Grand Finals Map Pool Showcase. This is pretty unique. MWC has not had a separate pool for the Grand Finals. We'll always have the finals be one pool instead. So this time is a bit different. We actually got a separate pool for the Grand Finals, and this pool is very brutal. I cannot play it at all. And I am Davey, joined by Underjoy. We're going to be your hosts here, overseeing and talking over a bit all of these different picks we got. So, how's it going, Underjoy?
Oh, I'm extremely excited for this map pool showcase, not only because it's the first Grand Finals map pool showcase in MWC ever. I think it's the map level in this pool is extremely over like what you've seen in previous MWCs so far. And yes, this is a big step upwards. I'm sure we spent a lot of time on this map pool, and I hope you will be impressed by the maps you will find here.
Yeah, and be tired by them because they're very hard. Alright,
yes,
so
it's the time of the tournament where the top 3 teams are extremely good, so we need to cater to their skill levels.
yeah. So we got our first pick is Name of Oath. It's going to be our speech stream pick.
No, I think the order is wrong. Yeah, the first thing is actually map. Yes.
So a bit wrong.
Yeah. So it's shrunk to 280, and it's my pick, my map, and it's the speed course stream pick. We had 260 in the finals. Now we have 280 in the grand finals, and this map is pretty relentless. I would say this is literally
Beginning isn't too much, but yeah, I'd say it does pick up later on. Also, I love the background.
Yes, I thought I wanted to like channel the strength in the background. But anyway,
Yeah,
this is like a small break before we get like more continuous course streams. They aren't very like dense, but the speed makes up for more than enough for the peak. And even if you can do like the beginning, it's actually not that hard. I would say it's one of the easiest picks for the pool. The stamina definitely kicks in after a while, and in the choruses you will see the pretty much a non-stop density spike course stream. That is the boss part of the chart.
Yeah, it's pretty speedy. What BPM, around what BPM is the actual like streams, the highest streams, I guess.
Yeah, this is the chorus, and you can see but the patterns are actually pretty like technical because of the different rhythms used. So maybe it isn't dance, but it's actually very comfy, and the chords are like patterned in very diverse ways. So it's not like a very simple monotonous chord stream. It's actually pretty balanced throughout.
It's fairly bursty in a way, but it's still continuous because the streams themselves are so quick that you'll have just so many bursts coming at you at once that it kind of becomes continuous in a sense.
Yes, and as Jinji mentioned in the final showcase, and this has also been the case with the Sogetsu map in the finals, this might be quite difficult because of the transitions in the chord stream, because this is 280, so the jacks, like the hidden mini jacks in the chord stream are, or like the trills are 140 BPM, so they may be a bit difficult, but I think for players in this difficulty, in the grand finals they shouldn't have much issue like doing the transitions. It's more about like stamina and doing this insane choruses.
Yeah, that really picks up there at the very final stretch after the bit of a break point. You can see that Stupid Man's not having a great time at this part. Oh, I'm sure he's having fun, but as in...
the map is fun, but it's also
difficult.
pretty difficult, yes. But he also wasn't like playing in like top form, so you can take those scores with a grain of salt here. And I think we can move to the second map of the pool, which is going to be a polar opposite.
Yep. It's going to be LN density here. So will we see any like inverse action, you think?
Yes, this is pretty difficult because it's very fast and the long notes are really dense here. Like you have some inverse patterns, but overall, like it requires a lot of coordination, to be honest. Even though it's a density peak, the like part after this one, this is probably the hardest point of the chart for me because it requires so much like different long note skills. You need to have the density and the speed in hands. You need to control the long notes, the coordination elements, and I would say this is one of the harder picks on the long note spectrum. But again, this is why I personally struggle with. So I wouldn't be like surprised if better long note players than me like find this more easy than me.
I think, like from what I'm seeing and from previous picks, this is a very big step up with the the density itself is very sustained, and we haven't had that a lot in other map picks of this caliber. So, and it's also very speedy too. You have a lot, and the density is really up there, and you also got some control elements that too. Like here you see there, you have to hold column 7 while doing all of that other stuff. It looks really difficult, and I wouldn't say you'll ever see anyone get a SS on this, at least in match.
Yeah, this is not happening. I actually think like we won't see much FCs, if any FCs, on this pool because of how upscaled it is from the finals pool. This pick maybe is a bit like more standard in terms of long notes, but at the same time, if I were like a long note team, I wouldn't be comfortable picking this straight away because of how difficult in the rhymes terms it is.
It's also very with all of the other LN picks we have, they're also very high SR. Like this one is 9.16. Should tell you something about how just difficult everything is right now. So the next pick, the third map, is going to be Exile. I'm sure you all are very familiar with this song. And there's been a lot of different maps of this. One example being the Stellium, I think it was. No, what's it called again?
This is exactly this map, which was used in Stellium, albeit it has some slight nerfs. But yes, it is the Exile downrated a bit and nerfed a bit from the Stellium version. But it is still packing the same punch as the Stellium version, I can guarantee.
Yeah, well, for these short jacks, it's all about the BPM itself. You can play maybe, let's say you can do 125 BPM. You're feeling good at that BPM. You up that by maybe 5 BPM, and suddenly you're having a very hard time keeping up. It's a lot about BPM, so...
Yes, honestly, I even tried to fine-tune the BPM of this song, and BPM's differences of 2 BPM were actually very noticeable. So I think the 144 is a good compromise, and also a big step up from the finals where it was 136. And this map is actually pretty diverse in terms of jacks. We have a bit less dense section and some long jack section which will be coming in a time. And I would say this is the middle difficulty of this Rise pool. It isn't very difficult, comparatively to the other picks in the pool. It's relatively easy to high score, so I think it can be picked a lot.
Yeah, if you're good at this map, you're probably going to do pretty consistently on it.
Yes, this is.
Otherwise,
you have a nice break here, the break before the hard part of this map, which is long jack based.
Ooh, yeah, these sections require insane amounts of jack control because you've got these short anchors here and there interspersed on some repeating columns, which means that if you just mess up on one part there, you're just going to chain a couple of misses.
Yeah, this definitely requires a lot of control. It has also some small bursts nearing the ending, so players might need to care about them.
And that is Exile. Now we're going to Tsukiyo-ni.
Tsukiyo-ni Mao Koi no Hana. Koi no Hana, yes. And this is actually pretty much a collab between me and Raimo. Maybe say edit at the cut version of the map, which was previously uploaded. And it's the long note mixed pick, which is pretty neat combination of everything. I would say the auto jam experience a bit, maybe without the shields, but other than that. This is, I would say, also middle difficulty of the long note pool, and it's mostly about long note inverse streams at a pretty respectable BPM of 195. It's also one of the longest long note maps in the pool, and the first half is more about coordination and release aspects, control, while the latter half...
Right now a bit with the very weird releases going on at once, and also some inverse too, so you'll have some sections being inverse and some immediately afterwards being in some weirder release patterns, but also kind of density patterns. It's an interesting mix, I'd say.
Yes, there are a lot of chords with long notes and some other 8-bit patterns. And other than that, this map is heavily edited from the original version, so it's much more difficult, especially the harder part, which will be following and slowly building up. This map has some sizable breaks, but other than that, the hard parts are extremely dense, I would say, in the long notes. This isn't as straining as the long note density pick, but it has some similarities, I would say, and I expect this to be picked a lot, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, with how difficult the pool is, you just wanna be able to survive, so players will probably opt for picks that aren't as straining, but still very consistent in difficulty. That way they'll conserve some of their stamina.
The part we've seen just before is one of the harder parts of the map. It's the full inverse 195 BPM chord stream, but it's not very dense, so it's doable, I think, by players. Actually, some players might prefer to play full inverse patterns over some technical ones, and the technical ones are coming right here in the final course of the map. We'll see some starburst and more density.
It's not the kind of just wally kind of difficulties you'll see on some O2 Jam-like maps. It's just rather consistent in difficulty. I will see some Stranger Bursts there too. I think those are some shields too.
This is difficult.
Yeah, it picks up a lot.
And the ending is deceptively difficult because it isn't as intense as the chorus, but it still doesn't let down. And actually, the last part is the full long note in verse again. But it has some breaks and doesn't last for long, so it's probably a choke point, but it isn't the hardest section of the map.
And with that out of the way, we'll be having our 5th pick, which is going to be our first hybrid. It's Super Emulator, which has a rate change, I think.
Yes, it is a bit unrated, and it's a hybrid pick. And it's map by Kim God SSC, which is maybe I would say unfamous for making difficult maps. But this map is actually pretty interesting in the way that it's a neat mix of both long notes and rise in maybe 1-to-1 ratio, I would say. Though the second part of the map is probably much more difficult than the first one. And the patterning here is very diverse. Like it doesn't go at you instantly, but you can already see that the density is here, and you will also see many different kinds of patterning that will be coming up. Both rise and long notes. Here is the first speed section.
Yeah, this is very, very difficult so far. And it doesn't seem to let up a lot. I wonder if there's any break sections, you think?
Not really. I mean, there are some less dense sections, but in general this is pretty consistent throughout the whole duration. Also note that in this pool we have quite low ODs in general. This is OD6 as a hybrid, and in general the highest OD in the long note peaks, and I think rise and hybrid peaks as well is 7. Most of them are OD6, and only the rise peaks are OD8, but still not every one of them is. You can see some pretty difficult rise sections and long note sections here. They are alternate because of how the song is composed. And this is the last break before the main difficulty part of this chart.
You mean that there's even a harder difficulty section coming up?
Yes, probably for the rise players, this is a pretty nasty, speedy section coming right here.
You expect this to be picked a lot? Or
honestly, that might be the case, but I wouldn't say this is a comfortable pick. It depends on the specificalities of teams that we'll be playing, because this is I wouldn't pick this straight away. If I were a rise team, I would pick the rise picks first. Long note team should pick the long note pick first. And I don't feel like there would be a team that would be particularly comfortable with this map, because it's pretty crazy. You can already see, this is one of the hardest parts and the fastest parts, and now the long note part kicks in.
It's certainly very just all over the place, let's say. And I think that's one of the reasons you don't see a lot of teams just go in for hybrid picks. Even in the 4K MWC, they don't really go for hybrids immediately. It's more of a pick later on. And with that, we got Frontier Explorer, which is going to be our second chord stream, which is very dense, by Blocko, which you'll surely know of, if you're a 7K player at least.
Played by the one and only Penguin City 3. This is, I would say, noticeable step up from the finals chord stream pick, because it's 210 BPM. And it's maybe a bit shorter, but it has very dense sections. Even Blocko labeled this map as Overjoy 3 difficulty on 1.0 rate, so this is even faster, so I expect this is extremely difficult. I can't play this map at all, for example, because of how dense it is, and draining are the main sections, which we'll be seeing in a minute. And I would say this is more of like consistency slash stamina peak, but on the side you need to keep up with this density, which we are already seeing. A very harsh patterning here.
Yeah, with dense chord stream picks, it's all about both how dense it is per hand and also how long it is. And with this, you see that it really doesn't let up, give you any sort of break between hands or any breaks between sections. We have a bit of a breakpoint here. I suppose that it would be a lot more difficult if the entire map was as dense as like this section.
Yes, this is the hardest section of the map because this is a chorus which is happening twice. And also a small mention, this is actually a small edit because players familiar with this map in its original form, there was a slight like delayed stair speed patterning fragment which was remade to more chord stream. And this will be probably the hardest section, like the last part of the chorus and the bursts that accompany the exit of the chorus.
That's
so you can see some extreme big chords and extreme density.
Yep. Thankfully it's very short, so you won't need to suffer on this one for too long. And it's almost done after just this little stream. Yeah.
Yes, I expect like Rise-based teams to pick this like instantly because it's actually pretty high scoreable, I would say, because this map doesn't have like so many tricks or many uncomfortable patterns. It's just the chord string ability and like raw density control.
Okay, so up next we got Black Flare, Alan Release.
This is probably the easiest long note map in the pool, but also probably the only one I expect a full combo on. It can happen, but in accuracy terms, it's similar to Gunjo. It cannot be. The releases here are like all over the place, and main difficulty between this and Gunjo would be that it's actually a bit like physically demanding. And less based on coordination, more like based on like long note stream capacity. But this is the intro, which is pretty easy for now. But the main part is like the piano solo, which goes on and on and on. And the releases have a very cool briefing effect, in which they get like shorter, then longer, then shorten again. And this happens throughout the whole chorus, which we will see after this small break.
Yep. So.
This song is also very good. And we are already approaching the harder section.
I wanted to see like oh yeah, here we go. And as you say, it gets shorter and then denser. It's like going back and forth in some kind of a wave. This is going to be naturally super difficult to act well on because it's not very intuitive about which notes are shorter than the others. It's just that overall you'll be hitting lighter and then a lot tighter.
Yes, the streams here like are around 255 BPM, so it's pretty fast, but the density isn't very high. And yes, reading the chat, this is the easiest long note map in the pool. And this is full combo material for the better players in this tournament. I'm not joking here. But keeping accuracy on this is another story because it's extremely difficult to keep a good 200 count here.
Definitely. And it's also pretty short with just one section to watch out for. So it might actually get pretty picked. And we also have our 8th map. We are halfway down. It's Ska, which is going to be our tech pick.
Yes, Ska, difficulty Vava. I wonder where that came from. But anyway, this is a technical pick, and I would say this is one of the hardest maps in this pool. This is extremely difficult to high score, and this map is so chaotic that it's actually extremely demanding. It has a lot of different like jack and grace bursts, and they change their like speed every time. And the mid part here is actually probably the hardest part of the chart, with very, very difficult sweeps and mini jacks inserted, and the mini jacks can go up to 200 plus BPM. So
Yeah, so far it's not too difficult.
yes, it's coming right here.
Yeah, here it is.
The-
Always just master at doing very chaotic maps.
Yes, actually, if you watch like the Jackass video of this song, he analyzed the rhythmical structure of this song, and it's extremely impressive how Leaf did the weird like snap signatures and different things. It's just amazing rhythmically, and Kavawa actually captured a lot of this. Yes, those bursts are pretty interesting.
They are stupidly fast. You have to be able to vibro a bit, I'd say.
Yes,
on
this
those
is a
parts.
small break, and then the final section of this map, which is more like chord stream / jack based. This is pretty hard to categorize, but apart from tech. But this is probably one of the more like physically demanding picks because of the sheer ability to do the jacks. I expect this to get banned by teams that cannot play the Rise here.
Yeah, but we have like which teams are left? We got, of course, South Korea, and then we got is Malaysia eliminated?
We got China and we got Malaysia. Yes.
Yeah. I think that out of them, which one's more like LN based?
I think definitely Malaysia would like to avoid this pick, probably.
Yeah.
But China and Korea, I expect both of them to either ban this or like excel at this and try to win this pick. So it can go both ways. And we can go to the 9th pick of the pool, which should be our long note white card pick, and it's MTU Fitguri Magnolia. Another map by Kim God. He's actually got 3 maps in this pool. And this is probably, I would say, the most awkward and difficult to high score map in this pool because of how difficult the middle sections are and how they are filled with shields and mini jacks. The intro is relatively easy, but as you will see, the map, once the map begins, it doesn't let you down at all.
I mean, even at the intro, even JCAS is struggling to keep his hack up. That's already very telling.
Yes, the
That was
oldie is
kind of
5. The oldie is actually 5, so it's the lowest in this pool. And yet, Jackass like struggles to keep accuracy on the intro part, which isn't even that hard. It's just hard to control. But after the slower section, we will be seeing the dubstep choruses, which contain very interesting patterning. And this is patterning that I would say auto-jam players could be familiar with because of how I want to use other word, but how interesting the auto-jam maps are. But yeah, in general, expect a lot of like big chords mixed with shields, with bursts, and just you need to control this map or you struggle. But in terms of like sheer density, this is actually not that hard. It's mostly like the difficulty to keep the combo, which we will see in the next part.
Yes, I guess it's around the 4000 mark, maybe. We also see a bit of rise patterning. Yeah, this part is very all over the place.
Yeah, the first drop is actually easier than the second one. And it's also the long version of this song, almost 4 minutes, one of the longer maps of the pool. And you can already see Jackass is missing here, so this means this map is difficult. There is a small break, but it's actually filled with some small like shields, so you cannot let your guard down, and those releases are also nothing to scoff at.
It's also really demanding on like the release part. It's, as we saw in the section we just saw after the dubstep section.
Yes, as I said, like once this map begins, it doesn't really end. There is a very small break here, but other than that, You can see those jacks are like 200 now. They were 100 in the previous section. Actually, they were 3, but now you have some small jacks, and the second part, which is even harder.
Oh yeah. Now it's even denser. It's almost the density map, but more techy.
I would say this is one of the maps that scream that you need to miss less, because accuracy isn't like a big issue here because of low OD, but if you miss, you will lose score.
Oh yeah.
In the last part, there are actually some like singular faster jacks than those like 160 mini jacks. So you might want to watch out for them.
That part is very brutal on just accuracy.
This is very brutal. The ending is absolutely difficult.
Yeah. So players will probably want to not miss on the very first part, because at least it's comboable, but it's still rather difficult. You just want to keep that combo going up until the very difficult part.
Yeah, I would if I were a long note player, I would avoid picking this straight away, because this is actually quite risky, because it's incredibly hard to keep consistency on this.
Yeah, it's very long too. Like it's, I think the longest map. Yeah, it is by. No, actually, there's another map that's 2 seconds longer. I think we'll be getting it soon. Hold on. What's the next map? It is how do you pronounce that?
It's the Mope long version, basically, by Leaf. So second map by Leaf in this pool. Fiuma Peustaloris, I think how it's pronounced. It's probably some sort of a flower. And this is the hybrid pick that is the successor of Banana Man. Maybe not yet apparent, but everyone who knows this song will probably know how this song looks like later, so they can probably imagine the kinds of patterns they will already need to face. And as you can see, this map is very easy, with the difficulty super easy Uwu, and the star rating of mere 12.8. And I think this is the highest star rating map in the pool, maybe apart from one other map. And as you can see, this is very easy.
Ooh, yeah. It's actually one more map that has an even higher star rating. I'm not sure when we'll be getting it. Yeah, it's before the tiebreakers. And we'll see both the highest in terms of time. It's 351 seconds long, and also highest in star rating, which is above 13.
Okay, the map will begin shortly, and you can expect a lot of difficult patterns both in Rise and in long notes, mostly speed based honestly, but there are also some pretty respectable jacks, but I think you should just see for yourself what kinds of hell and horror Jinjin prepared for you.
Oh, this
doesn't
very
stop until it begins, and it begins pretty much now.
It's pretty Rise based. I mean, no, pretty long note based so far. Like, a lot of difficulty comes from. Oh yeah, then it just goes to Rise Town immediately after I say that.
It just explodes with Rise difficulty, and the long note difficulty is soon to follow. Though this map is like very difficult on like long note control department, so it might be a bit more preferable to Rise players, in fact. And
Yeah,
those
perhaps.
notes do not stop, and even no, you can. These bursts are still in the background, but like long notes kick in.
Even these kind of long note patterns are fairly easy to control. You got bigger chords with LN chords with like a tight gap, which is going to be kind of easy for Rise players, especially if they have the skin.
Yeah, this is also a cut version. There also is very interesting SV and the original map, but yeah, we decided to skip that out and relieve only the parts that matter. And the last part, which is, yeah, pretty difficult.
Ooh, yeah, and then it's pretty much long notes and
Yeah,
a final O2 jam-like burst.
Yeah, the last burst is what makes this map almost 13 stars, because the star rating is a great measure of the map difficulty.
Yeah, it is. So we got our 11th map, Eagle-Seeker.
Yes,
And
another map from 4 key, but in 7 key. But this map is probably the hardest rise pick in the pool, as like mixed rise, because of how fast and how relentless it is, with 234 BPM, and lots of different patterns, including chord trills and bursts and small mini jacks that are pretty techy in nature.
yeah, those birds aren't very forgiving. Oh, and then it just goes really dense right there.
Yes, this is one of the songs I personally got the impression that they aren't as easy if you cannot do the density, but if you can do the density like those chord trills, then you can high score them much higher. But yeah, the main difficulty here is the density combined with the interesting patterns inside, so the bursts and the jacks, which are pretty tightly packed, and they just happen simultaneously with other things in this map, so it's very easy to lose combo on this, and this will be probably one of the avoided picks for the non-rise players. And possible ban, but then you will leave the car open, so it depends on what is the lesser evil for the non-long note teams.
So far, wait, who's playing this? Midtown, is it Stupid Man?
Yes, this is Stupid Man.
Yeah, I think that's the lowest score he's been getting on any of these replays. So that should tell you something about how difficult this map is. But if you're pretty comfortable on Rise, I think you'll probably be very consistent on this, because you reach a certain level, it's all about just controlling a few of those very difficult just bursts. Some as long as you don't miss on them, I think you can get some pretty consistent scores in this one.
Yeah, the ending is probably the hardest part, with the density coming out at you non-stop, and this pool and this map in particular is especially around Azimuth level of difficulty, maybe even Azimuth plus. Not still Zenith, but it is definitely one of the most demanding rise picks in the pool.
We haven't got a 234 mini jack at the very end with, a full chord. That was pretty nuts. And we got our 12th pick, Goat Fantasy. We're fantasizing about some goats now.
Yes, shoutouts to Ganium. Yeah, this is actually a mapper shoutout, because the background will be changed after the showcase. But this is the long note coordination pick, and a bit one of a kind, because this is a bit more similar to like Negai than Fractal from the previous pool, in terms of that this is filled with shields and mini jacks to the brim. It has a lot of difficult coordination and inverse patterns, but it's also pretty shieldy, so it's all about control. The BPM is quite slow, but as you can see, there are very demanding combo patterns here.
It's on the shorter side of things. 2 minutes 26 seconds, not too long. And most of the Allen picks, except for 2, are under 3 minutes. Might see, but also almost all of the Rise picks are around 2 minutes, with 1 being almost 3 minutes and 1 being over 3 minutes. So players do have not a lot to worry about in terms of making sure that they're consistent, since most maps are going to be 2 minutes long, which is pretty standard for tournament settings. This map also has some breaks too, so it's not terribly consistent too. This could also Oh yeah, then it just picks up immediately afterwards and with the short bursts do that.
This is definitely a go-to pick for the long note teams because it isn't just as physically heavy as the other picks. But on the other hand, like if you are a Rice player, you probably won't play this well because of how difficult this is in terms of like long note patterning. There are like shields going on non-stop.
It's pretty polarizing, so if you can long note, you can probably this map. It's probably the easier map if you're able to long note.
Yes, and this is hella fun, by the way. This is very enjoyable, a very enjoyable map. Even though it doesn't look like it, but still, those patterns are pretty enjoyable.
As long as patterns look good, a lot of patterns can be enjoyable, even though they might play horribly. And we got Killing Rhythm next. Be prepared to die of the rhythms.
Yeah, this map is, say, first evening map of the pool, and it's the longer mixed rice, so it is like a rice tiebreaker. Something about this. And this map is pretty fast, 249 BPM. And you might not believe me, but this is probably one of the easiest maps in the pool. Especially in the Rice department, because the patterns are pretty dense and pretty fast, but they are so comfortable that you can combo them without as much difficulty as other maps. The first part is actually pretty interesting because it's like filled with chord swirls and swirls, so like plastic reference. But I would say the main meat of this map comes after those beginning parts and chords. So the second half, and for now you can see the preface of what's to come.
Yeah, those trills doesn't look too nice. Well, it's still not like oh yeah, we got some brackets trills too, but thankfully they're shorter.
Yeah, this map like tries to do everything that other maps in the pool, other Rice maps in the pool do, and doesn't explore any of those skill sets in fully. It's just like a neat mix of everything, with the spiciness of evening patterning, because as you can see, evening is very good at making patterns that only evening can make. Lots of
pretty
fast causes.
visually oriented in a way.
Yeah, it also has a lot of breaks, and for now it doesn't seem very difficult for players that are in the tournament because of how much breaks are there. But the stamina probably will kick in the second half with more difficult and faster bursts.
I mean, the sprills themselves are pretty darn fast, but 249 BPM, that's not too much for the teams we got left. Otherwise, yeah, it's not like it's not very consistent in terms of just density alone. So the players will probably just be able. But yeah, we just saw that section looked very not nice.
Yeah, this is the break before the most difficult section, and I don't want to say it, but the ending is pretty ridiculous for the map like this, but you will see what I mean in a second. But before the ending we have the small build-up to the densest part of the map, and probably the most demanding physically, and the one that can actually tire you. Luckily you have a lot of break before, and the patterns are very fluent, as you can see, so this is actually very pleasurable to hit.
Yeah, not demanding. It doesn't look demanding at all, but I'm assuming it's going to be a lot more demanding in the sec.
Yes, you may want to watch for the like small first column mini checks that may be mind blockable if you don't like them. And yeah, this is the hardest part.
Do you think players would pick this like as one of their first picks, not like absolute first pick, but one of the first picks, since it seems like it's not too wasteful on stamina, except for that part, because that's a very long kind of long jack. But still, it's at a pretty comfortable BPM for top players, so it's probably not a big deal for them, but it's probably a big deal for me.
Okay, let's go with the funny part. And answering your question, I probably think this won't be picked. It won't be picked at first because it's not very hard as a Rise pick, and the Rise teams would probably want to pick the hardest picks in the beginning, so this would be like leftover pick for Rise teams. And long note teams probably won't pick it either because they want long notes first. But if a long note team were to pick a Rise map, probably this would be one to go.
Yeah, and we got that out of the way. We got only a couple maps left. Got first Name of Oath, which is going to be speech streams.
So this is the first. This is the first and the only map Evening made a replay for because he liked it so much. But in general, this is the speed pick of the pool, and the first part is pretty, I would say, innocent. It's like finals level because of how standard the delay patterns are. This map is actually pretty fast. The second part is like 1.8. Actually, the PM is doubled here, so the first part is like 348 streams. And it's more like, as I said, it's more quantifiable. This is the right word, I think. And the second part after the break is I would say, most interesting of them all because it reminds me of like delay hardcore BMS songs, which like needs to chat to be played perfectly. This is the second half of this is so freeform that you need to probably find a good way to cheat those patterns because it's incredibly difficult to play them legitimately, and also the BPM of those streams is around 552.
I mean, at this BPM, at this BPM, I'm pretty sure that no one will like play this legitimately because doing that would look very odd.
Yes, but
I don't think it's humanly possible. So you'll have some amount of cheese.
Yes, this is probably actually very comfortable to play. You just need to find the right way to play these patterns. They are so very manipulable and also extremely comfortable. So even though this is so fast, you can actually combo most of this.
Yeah, it does look to be very based on like it's not very spread all over the place. It's based on around shorts a lot. It's just a matter about how well you manipulate them because it's OD8. It's OD8, so getting 200s on this is almost a complete certainty with how fast these streams are.
Yeah, the ending is the most difficult part and probably won't be comboed easily by many players here, actually.
And we got number 15, our longest map. It's going to be Killer Beast with Amelia. And also highest star rating except for the tiebreaker, and we'll get to that in a moment. But before we go there, this is a... how would you describe this map?
I would say this is the most difficult hybrid of them all, and also the one that resembles a tiebreaker a bit. This is actually a collab between Remoring and Evening, and Evening maps the second half of this, which is approximately more difficult than the first half. So the first half is around like gamma levels, second one is azimuth. And it has some extremely technical patterns and extremely tight long notes as well.
Yeah, so far it does not look to be a cakewalk.
Yes, and it's going to get even a lot harder. This is the easy part of this map, and it already features some pretty crazy patterns with the graces. I would say those aren't very easy to combo, but even harder to act honestly because of how disjointed most of those chords and bursts are. And some 200 streams incoming.
I think we might see some bans on this map because it's very varied. So it's not like super lenient on just a particular skill set, even if it's within that skill set. So you'll and it's also really, really long and very relentless, which means probably a lot of players will be either avoiding this or just outright banning it.
Okay, so this was the first half made by Remoring, and if you think you have seen everything, you are wrong, because now the evening part comes, and this is probably one of the craziest, and I would say this is the craziest moment of the whole map pool in terms of patterning, because it's just insane how evening maps the second part, and how chaotic the song is. If you know Killer Beast, it has a lot of like rhythm changes, and it's an absolute carnage of the patterns just to keep alive and keep comboing the things.
Yep.
This is a small build-up before the hell begins, I would say.
I mean, it's already looking pretty damn hard, but it's still pretty doable. And now it just picks up a lot. It's nothing too much, but those rise patterns also very bursty. It's also fairly manipulable.
The rise parts are mapped in a way that you can, as Davey said, you can manip them, because they are like hidden chords, which you like, probably can hit as a chord and not as a speed streams. And you can see actually Jackass got a pretty respectable score on this, so it's not as difficult as you might think, but still those patterns are just mesmerizing to look at.
I do wonder what part of this map makes it 13.24. That's pretty darn high.
Probably those
Perhaps lost.
stereolognal bursts. This one. This.
Oh,
is,
this. That's the full moon night mode.
Now the BPMs change and the chord jacks part kick in, and it's just a mess of any pattern you can find in the game.
But it's also pretty much done now after this. Yeah, in a moment. Still got some more craziness. Well, that's that. So, this is the... With the penultimate map out of the way, we're excited to showcase to you our custom tiebreaker for the Grand Finals. More importantly, the custom song tailored for it. The mappers involved is me, Davey, Underjoy, Evening, Kawawa, JCats, Jinjin, so it's a pretty big collab. The composer of the song is none other than the amazing Hyun, featuring the beautiful voice of Sensei interspersed at the breakpoints of the map. The song is about fighting against your own duality, the duplicity of self. So without further ado, here is the song Duplicity Shade, and I hope you all enjoy listening to it.
ささやいた表裏の君おぼろげな目ですがあってもろく祈る声は白き闇へと溶けてゆく
As the complete ultimate
And that's it for our Grand Finals tiebreaker. Hyun, Duplicity Shade, Sensei. The difficulty Metamorphosis. 17.27 stars. Amazing song made by Hyun. And amazing collab as well. And this is the end of the Grand Finals map pool showcase. I hope players remaining in the tournament will enjoy this. And shout outs to everyone in the map pooling team because they did an amazing job supporting us in the tournament. And I think Devi has something to say about this as well.
Well, I gotta say that it's been a pleasure to be the initiating one. I remember that I sent out a tweet for a couple of months ago, and I was asking for some help doing making the grand return of the 7K MWC, and here we are now a couple of months later, and I couldn't have made it as one single step without all of the awesome people around here. So big shout outs to everyone. I'd like to thank you, Underjoy, for being such a consistent helper and hard worker. I'd like to give a shout out to Mangumeiser too for making this song happen. It's an amazing song, gotta say. I think it's one of the better custom tiebreaker songs Sosis had. And it's just been a huge pleasure with all of this. So big thanks to everyone involved. And
I have one more announcement to make because during the Grand Finals we will see the matches between the three countries that are still in the tournament, so China, Malaysia and South Korea. But we also are going to have a show match between players from the countries that have been eliminated through the tournament. So we will contact captains from the teams that qualified, and we will create custom teams, picking one player from each country. And we will have a show match 4 versus 4 players. The details will be here soon, but we will be able to see all those stars that have been eliminated because of how they couldn't carry their teams, but still we'll be able to see them all in action on the Grand Finals pool. So I hope you're excited for that.
I'm sure excited for that. Let's go. Okay, so I think that's it for us. We'll see you again next weekend. Also, you might want to watch out for Underjoy uploading the tiebreaker. Make sure to give that a click.
Definitely.